And I think to describe the various parts of the spiritual literature of India, if you draw an inner circle that has the Yoga Sutras in that inner circle, those are the first things that we study. We study the Yoga Sutras first in an effort to learn to concentrate, to bring our mind to the point of being able to go into samadhi. In the next layer, you have the texts and the literature and the practices of Advaita Vedanta. And so once you've gained the ability to concentrate at that level, then you work towards the experience of the non-dual. Both the yoga system and the Vedanta system pursue gaining an experience of the non-dual by sort of excluding everything else. The name for liberation, for example, in yoga is kaivalya, which some people translate as isolation, even though I think a better translation is interior solitude, to put it in terms familiar to modern Christian mystics. In the Vedanta tradition, you're trying to eliminate your involvement with and perception of illusion in the interest of seeing the truth shining in the center of things. In the Kashmir Shiva tradition, the Vedanta tradition looks at the phenomenal world as illusory. The phrase is Brahma Satyam, Brahma is truth, Jagan Mithya, the world is illusory. In the Kashmir Shiva tradition, every aspect of divine creation is seen as having divinity at its core. And so the phenomenal world in which we live is no less real than the spiritual world that we experience in the depths of meditation. The only difference is that in the process of creating the phenomenal world, divinity has to veil more of itself to make the world more concrete. And so the gradual removal of that veil is the process of spiritual practice. In the yoga and Vedanta systems, people tend to look at this as an individual endeavor, as my practice and my sadhana, gradually working, making progress towards this deep experience. In the Kashmir Shiva tradition, it's much more of a dialogue between the person and divinity. The person makes efforts in spiritual practice, but then divinity also, every once in a while, grants an experience of grace that lifts the person up to a higher level, that gives them a higher experience. The Shiva Sutra that comes to mind in that regard is Udyamo Bhairavaha, the upsurge of this sense of joyfulness, of ultimate joyfulness in greater being is Bhairava, is the experience of Shiva as Bhairava. Not terrible or difficult or scary, as people often interpret the term Bhairava, but tremendous. There, the term Bhairava really is much more like the Christian mystical term Mysterium Tremendum.